What is up, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So I want to go over an additional 10 stocks to buy for this upcoming week in the stock market. And this is stemming off of the video we made yesterday going over 10 more stocks to buy. And if you guys didn't catch that, I'll link it right down below. Make sure to go watch that after you watch this video. None of the stocks overlap in these two videos. So if you want 10 other stocks, go check that out, linked right down below. So stock number one that I'm looking at is Lululemon, ticker symbol LULU. And by no means is this stock breaking out right now. In fact, it's still kind of in this wedge. It's making lower highs and making higher lows. But one reason why I'm talking about it today is because it actually held, it wasn't last week, but it was the week before. It held this very critical point of support right around 320 to about 325 bucks. If you guys take a look here on the 4 hour, that was actually a resistance for Lululemon back in June, back in July, and once we broke that resistance, it obviously became support. And over these past couple of months, other than this one time that we did drop under 325, I mean, we've been holding 320, 325 pretty nicely as support many times. I mean, take a look here. Ever since the beginning towards the end, or it was towards the end of September, beginning of October, we've held 325 many times. Once, two, three, four times, 5 times about 2 weeks ago, like we just mentioned earlier in this video, and now we're actually ripping up. We held 325, we're at about 340, and what that is telling me as well, we're actually maintaining this uptrend in this wedge at a higher low, and we're squeezing deeper and deeper into the wedge, and we're looking for further direction. I mean, ideally for me to go long on Lululemon, I'd like to see it break, let's say, 350. I mean, we already broke the 50 SMA at about 335 here on the 4 hour. I'd like to see it break the 180 SMA as well at about 350. And then I think if we break 350, we could gap up to maybe 360, 365, which is right around the resistance of the wedge. And that is also going to be a moment of truth pretty much for Lululemon, because if we could break out of 360, that is where, technically speaking, we could be ripping closer to 380. 390 is another big resistance, and if we break 390, maybe 400 plus is where Lululemon is going. So by no means is this one breaking out quite yet, but it's squeezing deeper and deeper into this wedge, and I think there is more potential coming here in the next couple of weeks, maybe even this week, maybe next week, hey, maybe the week after. So number one here I'm watching, number one stock is Lululemon. The second one is Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM, which I believe we talked about earlier, last week on the YouTube channel. We might have mentioned it on Patreon a couple of times as well. And you guys can see here, Nano Dimension hit 18 bucks a couple days ago, or at this point, it was over 2 weeks ago, and it hit $18, got hit there. It was a big resistance. We pulled back, and rightfully so. I mean, it went up to 18 bucks pretty much straight from $9, so it needed to cool off a bit. So it went from 18 bucks back down to about 13. It tipped its toes. Actually, no, it didn't. I mean, it almost tipped its toes into the 12s. I mean, it might have a little bit, but ultimately it held 13, and it's been squeezing deeper into this, ascending triangle we're seeing. We're seeing, again, big resistance at 18, and honestly, if you guys remember, we actually hit 18 on the 10th of February. We almost did. So we hit that resistance 18 again. We failed to break out, but we pulled down and we held a higher low. We're actually holding the uptrend now at about 15 bucks, 15.50, right around this 50 SMA on this 4 hour chart. So pretty much what I'm looking for here is to see if Nano Dimension could end up filling the gap up to 17, 17.50, maybe back to $18, and maybe if it breaks out of there, the ascending triangle could play out. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. You know, a gap fill and then maybe a break out of $18. That's what could happen if the ascending triangle here plays out. So that is Nano Dimension. The third stock here, or shall I say, it is a SPAC. It's TCHB. This is one that one of you guys commented on one of my videos recently, and that's how I find, I don't want to say all of my stocks, a lot of my stocks even, but some of the stocks I look at and I cover here on the channel, it's thanks to you guys. So if you want to comment any stocks that you want me to take a look at, feel free to do so down below. Any stocks, any ETFs, any SPACs, drop them down below in the comments, and you might as well hit the like button if you made it to this part of the video. I'm sure you guys are still here. Hit that like button. Let's try to get 400 likes on this video. But this one here, again, thank you for commenting it. This is one that I didn't know too much about, and I still don't get me wrong, I still didn't do a lot of research into it, but the technicals here are pretty interesting, and this company is merging, or shall I say the SPAC is merging with the company that is it's in demand. This is the type of company that could be one of the, you know, quicker growing companies in the next 10 years due to, you know, the industry that it's in. So this TCHB, Tuscan Holdings, is actually merging with an electric vehicle battery maker. So a lot of people think, you know, the only way to invest into electric vehicles is by buying NIO, by buying Tesla, by buying Lordstown Motors, or whatever other, Lucid Motors, any of these, you know, EV plays. That is how you could invest in them for sure, no doubt about it. But you could also invest into the charging stations, you know, SBE, Blink Charging. You could also invest into the battery makers. You know, a lot of people are saying precious metals, silver, that is needed a lot in these EVs, so get yourself some silver. That's going to do well in the next 10 years. That's what people are saying. So there's a lot of ways you can invest in EVs, and this is one of them. So they're merging TCHB with Microvax. That is what this company is called, and they were actually founded in 2006, and Microvax is a fast-growing market leader in design, development, and manufacturing of ultra-fast charging, long-life battery power systems with superior safety for electric vehicles, specifically designed to address the critical constraints currently facing electric vehicle development. Our electric vehicle battery system solution paves the way for mass adoption of electric vehicles. So go look deeper into this, guys. I'm not going to dive too much into it right now, but you definitely should. Again, there's many ways you can make money from electric vehicles. And taking a look here at the technicals on TCHB, this is a pretty nice dip. Even if you don't want to buy this and hold it for the long term because maybe you're not sure of how Microvax is going to do long term, maybe you don't want to do that, but looking at this, it's pretty appealing for maybe a trade if you want to get in and out of it as a trade. And of course, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. Go do your own research. But based on what I'm seeing here, we pulled back a bit from 27 bucks to 19, more than just a bit. I mean, that's well in a bear market. It's well into a bear market. It's down over 30%. And what we're seeing here is TCHB is hovering right around the 180 SMA, which every single time in the past here on the 4-hour chart, we can see it. Every time we've pulled back, we've held the 180 SMA at a higher low, and we've ripped up higher. So is it crazy to think that now that we're getting back to that 180 SMA, we had a 4% green day on Friday, which is a good sign that we're holding it and maybe popping off, you know, from that point? Is it crazy to say that we end up rallying back into the 20s, mid-20s? I don't think it is. So that's exactly why I'm watching it. I mean, I think there is potential here off of this, dip on the 180 SMA 4-hour chart. But one thing to also mention, guys, don't get too excited quite yet, because TCHB is still in a downtrend. It is still at a what is this? A lower high. It's still at a lower high. I can't even talk today, guys. It's at a lower high. There we go. And it's actually under this 180 SMA on the 10-day chart. And I mean, it's at a lower high. So that is a point where maybe you could get trapped if you get into this stock here or SPAC and it dumps down for a lower low. That would not be the best. So I would probably wait. And in fact, I'm going to set an alert. I'm going to set an alert on this at about 21 bucks. If it breaks 21, gets out of these moving averages, the resistance, or shall I say the moving average, there's only one in the way, that 180 SMA. If we get out of this point, that could be where we break out. So watch out for TCHB. I really like it here. GEVO, I don't know how to say it, but GEVO. This is another one that I'm keeping my eyes on. There's a lot of momentum on this one. It went from 46 cents back in July. I wish I put my entire account into GEVO. That would have been fantastic, but I didn't do that. And it went from 46 cents all the way up to over $15 per share in this past week, which is absolutely insane. And on Friday, it actually went up over 3% on the day. And this is one that, although it's not at the best dip opportunity right now, you could argue it's overbought even, this is one that has a lot of momentum. And if you didn't know, I mean, GEVO, hope I'm not butchering that, it operates as a renewable fuels company. It commercializes gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel fuel to achieve zero carbon emissions and reduce greenhouse gas emissions with sustainable alternatives. So this is another interesting play when it comes down to, renewable energy, renewable fuels, and so forth. And again, there's a lot of momentum. So I'm looking at this maybe as a potential breakout if it could take out $15.50. I mean, $15, $15.50. That is where we got hit back on the 11th, back on the 12th of February. We got hit pretty much exactly at $15.50. So if we could take that out, who knows? This could go 16, 17 plus before seeing a pullback. And then we could get in on the pullback as well. So there's a couple of ways you could play this. You could play the breakout if it breaks out from 1550 plus to wherever it ends up going, and then the pullback after that. Or if we don't break out and we just straight up pull back to about 12, 12.50, 13 bucks, you could play that as well. So watch GEVO. I'm watching it closely here. IDEX is another one. Ideanomics. This one is down a good dollar from its peak here at about 568, 570. It's gone down to about 460 at the close on Friday. It's down almost 20%, so it's almost in a bear market. And I really like the technicals here. I mean, I like the way it's holding a higher low at about 460, 470. And the fact that we aren't breaking out quite yet, you guys can see it here on this 5-day, 5-minute. The fact that we aren't breaking out quite yet is the reason why I'm not too excited quite yet with this one. But I think if this 5-day, 5-minute could break out into the probably into the 480s, 490s, maybe the 5s, that is where I'd be excited, because that means the downtrend's broken on the 5-day, 5-minute. And if we pull back a bit to the 4-hour, that means the uptrend is continuing on this 4-hour, and that could be a way to play it back up to 570. And let's say it breaks 460, 450, it could get down to 350, $4. I've said that before, I believe, here on the channel, and I'm sticking to that. It still could get down to the 180 SMA on the 4-hour. That could be a decent dip buy. So watch out for IDEX. And if you guys didn't know, the company's actually split into two divisions: Mobile Energy Global and Ideanomics Capital. Its Mobile Energy Global division provides financial services and incentives for commercial fleet operators, including group purchasing discounts and battery buyback programs, and the company's Ideanomics Capital division provides financial services solutions. This division is involved in the areas of capital markets, such as financial products, advisory, and creation, with specific focus on the application of blockchain and artificial intelligence in financial technology. So this is interesting. I think this company, I forget, is it $2 billion? Let me take a look right now on Yahoo Finance very quickly, guys. I think this company is about a $2 billion market cap. So we're talking about a small company here. Yeah, it's less actually. It's $1.7 billion. So this is interesting. A lot going on with IDX. Watch it. Put it on your watch list. Go look into it. Do research. This is a very interesting company. And the next one is MRK, Merck. And by no means is this an attractive chart. I mean, it's pretty ugly. Let's be honest. The stock's been downtrending from 85 down to about 75. It's lost $10. It's down about 12%. And the reason why I'm mentioning Merck in this video is because I think it's a candidate for a bounce back play. And no, they didn't have great earnings to lead me to believe that they should bounce back. But eventually, what goes down must come up. And, you know, they had earnings recently that they weren't that great. EPS came in at $1.32 versus $1.38, so they missed EPS. Revenue came in at $12.51 billion versus $12.68 billion, so they missed on revenue as well. And, I mean, that was back on the 4th, and ever since the 4th, this stock has been going down. And you're like, Stas, why are you watching this then? Because, again, eventually I think this will snap back. We are going to see a relief rally. And when we're looking here at this 3-year chart, one thing that stands out to me, and you may be ragging on me, Stas, you're crazy. You know, why are you thinking this is going to do well? Because there's a head and shoulder. Take a look here. Left shoulder. The head right here, you can see that little head right there, and then the right shoulder, and we're actually pretty much almost fully completed. I mean, if the right shoulder completed fully, it'd be down to about $70, but we're, you know, almost done completing this right shoulder, and that leads me to believe even more that we're going to snap back at some point, and the fact that we're holding 75 is another reason why I think we could snap back at some point, because 75 was support back in, take a look at this, back in October. I mean, it went from $75, it snapped all the way back to about 85. That's a move of about 10-12%. And even before that, back in June of 2020, it went from 75 up to about almost $90. So I think if 75 can hold here, guys, and we get some confirmation of the pop back up, which could be any move from about 76, 77, I think this could be a nice bounce back play. So watch out for it, guys. This is a very interesting one. Ticker symbol MRK. And of course, Apple is another one. AAPL, we've covered this before, but what I'm seeing here is a descending triangle. We hit a high at 145. We've been making lower highs, but we're also keeping a support at about 133, 135, and we're slowly, especially on Friday after hours, we cracked up a little bit above that resistance. We're slowly breaking the resistance of the descending triangle to the point where I'm thinking, hey, is Apple going to break out? I think it could. And if 137 does break, 137.50, 138, that is where I could see Apple fill the gap to 145. That could be a nice move of about, it's got to be at least 5%, right? Exactly 5% from 138 to about 145. And take a look at what happened. I mentioned this before, but take a look here. Last time we had this little descending triangle pattern, we ripped right out of it. We went from 128 to 137 to 145. And who's to say now that we don't hold 135, which we already are, break 138, fill the gap to 145, then go to 150 plus? Who's to say that doesn't happen? I think it could happen. So I'm watching that here on ticker symbol AAPL. Dropbox, oh man, DBX is another one. They are reporting earnings on Thursday here on, I believe that's the 18th. So watch out for Dropbox's earnings. earnings. And this is a stock that overall it's covered a lot in the YouTube community. That's no doubt about it. And I'm not covering it because of that per se. I'm covering it because recently we've been breaking out of $24. $24 is a big resistance. And I mean, these past couple of months, we've also been breaking out of this downwards channel. Take a look at that. We were downtrending from 24 to 19. We got to the low of about 17, and we broke that channel back in December. We ripped from 19 to about 25. We pulled back to 22, held a higher low. Now we're ripping back up above 24. That's a good sign that the bulls are in charge and want to take this thing higher. So I think that from 24 maybe up to 26, that could be a move. And I mean, let's pull this chart back a bit further. Is this near all-time highs? Probably not. Yeah, it's not. All-time highs are 43. So let's say we rip out of 24, 25, which we pretty much are doing now. We get to 26 plus. Where could this stock go? I mean, if they do well with earnings, the next big resistance, above 26 on Dropbox is going to be about 28. That's one. I mean, $28. That was a support back in March of 18, so almost 3 years ago. So 28 is, it could go there. And if 28 breaks, gosh, who knows? Maybe low 30s, mid 30s it could get to. So Dropbox, I think, has a good way, or rather good room ahead of it to run, especially after these earnings, depending on if they're good. So watch out for Dropbox. And two other ones, the last two for today, guys, are gold plays. Ticker symbol NEM. This is Newmont Corporation. They're a gold miner, gold mining play here. They're reporting earnings also on Thursday, on the 18th here of February. And the other one is gold, ticker symbol GOLD, which is Barrick Gold. And if you guys remember, a couple months ago in one of the Warren Buffett's 13F filings, we saw that he bought I don't know, I forget how many shares or how much money of Barrick Gold he bought, but he bought it. And that's pretty crazy considering Warren Buffett was not the biggest gold guy. I mean, he doesn't like gold and he doesn't really invest in it. And all of a sudden we see him buying Barrick Gold. Hey, I mean, that's pretty interesting stuff. And I believe he's since sold, if most of it, if not all of it or some of it. I don't know if he liquidated all of his Barrick Gold position. Let me know in the comments down below if he did. But I know he sold some of it since originally buying. And I mean, this is a classic inflation hedge play. I mean, you could buy gold, you can buy some mining stocks that have a dividend. They're a bit more speculative, but hey, you can do either way. And I mean, either one, right? And this one, Barrick Gold, is down from $31 to $22. It's gotten slammed, guys, well in a bear market. Down 30%. And now that I'm looking at this, I kind of want to pick up some shares. Although I already own gold, the physical metal, I want to pick up some shares of this just by looking at it. I mean, this chart's beating down. And what we notice on the 4-hour is the downtrend, the downtrending channel. So for this to completely reverse pattern, reverse trend, it must break probably the mid-20s. I mean, it has to break the resistance of this channel, the 180 SMA on the 4-hour, and probably 25, this resistance from back in the end of 2020. If all those dominoes fall in place, which could likely happen, who knows, it might not. But if it does, we could go from 25, high 20s, low 30s again. I mean, that is where we could be going, especially if you think inflation is going to run rampant. With all this money printing, people are going to be flooding more to gold. The demand for gold is going to be there, and the lack of supply for it is also going to be there. So if you think the bull case for gold is there, that people are going to be flooding into it, demand's going to go off the charts, these mining companies, they're going to have to mine until they can't mine anymore, right? I mean, this could be a play for you. And same with NEM, which is Newmont. It's pretty much the same technicals. It's downtrending. This Newmont, in Newmont's case, it's got to break 61 and ultimately 63, 65, and then from there it could be breaking breaking out. So watch out for these gold plays. They're not the most fun thing to talk about, but hey, you can make some money there. So those are 10 stocks for this week. And don't forget, if you want to see an additional 10, check out the video I made yesterday. I'll link that right down below in the description box. And don't forget, if you want to join the Discord chat, the Strive Smart Discord chat, it's free. Join that. It's linked down below. Same with the Facebook group. And you could also get 2 stocks from WeBull that are free. All you have to do is deposit $100 using my link, and you get 2 stocks valued up to $1,600. And you could also get $30 from M1 Finance by simply opening up an account and depositing any amount of money. And all of those are free and linked right down below. And if you guys want more exclusive content, morning update videos, if you want my call outs throughout the day, my buy and sell alerts, and if you want more access to me throughout the day through my DM, check out that Patreon. It's linked right down below, and I really do appreciate you guys if you do get into that. So yeah, go check out the Patreon, and I'll catch you all in the next video, which should be that other one from yesterday if you missed it. That's linked down below. I'll catch you there. And again, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there as always. Keep crushing the markets. Peace out, guys.